Well, by that argument, it's a small number of people who are incarcerated,
Well,
right?
I wasn't saying a
So
small. I wasn't saying a small number. I was saying
so
that I'm
I
saying
just
the temporary effects of
I
said
just
thing. It got out of pocket.
let me
It got
also
out
just
of control. Go ahead.
hold on. Let me also just add that the ways in which women interact with the justice system are also different. So one of the ways in which Black women get surveilled is through these ancillary institutions like child welfare services.
Mm-hmm.
Black women are consistently being criminalized and penalized when it comes to CPS and CWS.
Absolutely.
Right? But most Black people don't know anything about that. We could tell you everything about how Black men
I
get
know.
tracked into the
Black
justice
women
system.
they just
So
don't call it that. They don't call getting reported.
Let me just end by saying this. I think some of you all's points actually speak to the fact that because we prioritize Black men, we actually don't know anything about how Black women end up in the criminal justice system and what the impacts are. You all can spot off all of these things about how Black men came to be in the justice system, its impact. But when we get into, okay, well, let's talk about women, it's a lot of like lack of information. That's actually Hope, Giselle,
Can we hear from Whitney? Can we? Whitney was trying. You tried to say something previously, Whitney, right?
Oh no, that's what she basically said. What I was saying, because that's when she said that 4%, and now it made me think like, okay, well, does that include like the women who have been like probably locked up because of CPS for no reason, or does that include the women who's emotionally and mentally abused by their man for doing stuff for them and going to jail? That was my question, basically. But to sum it up,
we know that there are a wide range of why people get locked up. It is disingenuous to assume that Black women are not wrongfully, incarcerated the same way Black men are. I think the disconnect here is that people not necessarily are not giving focus to it, or institutions are not putting money towards it. It's the fact that it does not happen as such a great catastrophic manner. And I'm so happy that you did say you study criminology, because I studied political science with a concentration in pre-law, and of course, definitely worked in the criminal justice system. So of course, all these things that we pay attention to, aside from my environment, I've been dealing with the juvenile system, been dealing with the criminal justice system for quite some time, and systematic things that oppress not only Black men, but Black women. Black women are aware that they get reported on, which is why they handle things in a certain manner. They do their paperwork. They check up on it. The other things that affect us disproportionately from Black men, I don't think that they are fair comparisons, because we look at Black men, and even when you look at Black women are disproportionately locked up in accordance to white women, right? But as in regards to men, we're still under them. So this is not something that's affecting Black people en masse so much to the point where we go, wait a minute, this needs to be looked at. More times often than not, if a Black woman is being incarcerated, more times often than not, we know that there was probably a crime committed, as opposed to Black men, which we keep seeing almost every year. They are getting exonerated left and right for false precedent charges way back through the crime bill and right before. We see this as a constant rate, that this is affecting the community. This is removing men from the house. This is removing the idea of education. This is removing men from the workforce system that we can use and that we can benefit from within the community. That's not happening at such a grandiose rate with the women, which is why it's not like a high priority, because we can absolutely assume there was a crime committed and they actually did it. Because the same way you guys are saying that men benefit off of patriarchy, we also benefit off the privilege of being a woman. There's an innocence with being a woman.
Okay, I'm not picking a side either way. Just like a couple things, it's not shocking that like men in general are going to be in prison at high rates. Or like men are more violent. I think over 90% of violent crime is committed by men generally. I think they always try to quote 50% as Black men. So like I can understand like we're going to be in prison at high rates. On the other side of that, it is just because I saw the statistic today and it shocked me. Like 1 in 3 Black men.
1 out of 7 men who are Black will have a run-in with at least a misdemeanor.
Well, 1 in 3 will actually do federal time. They'll have a felony in their lifetime, and that seemed high to me. I was like 1 in 3, but that was ridiculous. But again, I'm not flipping aside. That was just something that was interesting to me. Y'all can continue, or I can switch to something lighter.
I think the